Welcome back to Britain's Rare Guitars. This week we've got the fabulous Hand Off Gretel performing live in the studio for us.
Me and Vinnie get to travel back in time to 1976 and try some wonderful Yamaha guitars.
And I go visit world-renowned luthier Patrick James Eggle at his workshop in Oswestry.
Jealous of that. But first off, let's see Hand Off Gretel.
I'm sick of this feeling that I get in my chest another day. Just to wait until I rid of this mess I think is late. My situation that's just great. I keep thinking what you said through my head won't go away. You say it's only my fault. Oh, this is my fault. Everything I feel is self-inflicted, and that's why everybody leaves me. Why my friends don't lousy. Why I'm so alone, I'm so frustrated. Just shut it aloud. Like a sharp middle finger held right out, don't give it up. I'm too tired, with my laces in a knot, and I just let it all out, and the teachers don't know why. How can I sit and just be quiet all the time? It's only my fault, and oh, this is my fault. Everything I feel is self-inflicted. That's why everybody leaves me. Why my friends don't love me. Why I'm so alone, I'm so frustrated. Just shove it all out. If it's not you, 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 then it probably is me. If it's not you, 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 then it probably is me. I'm sick of this feeling that I get in my chest, and they know best. They're all waiting just to say they knew best, and I just let it all out, let it all out. The teachers don't know why. I cannot sit adjusting it all the time. Everybody leaves me. Why my friends don't love me. Why I'm so alone. It's my fault. Oh, this is my fault. Everything I feel is self-inflicted. That's why everybody leaves me. Why my friends don't love me. Why I'm so alone. Why? Tell me
Welcome back to Britain's Rare Guitars. That was our tribute to Jan Akkerman from Focus. Probably one of the greatest guitarists in the 70s, but a bit overlooked now. And we've got some overlooked rare guitars with us today, courtesy of Rob. How you doing, Rob?
I'm good, thanks.
Excellent. Could you quickly tell us a bit about how you got started?
Oh, in the early days as a teenager, I think I wanted to be a budding rock musician. It never happened, but I played in a few bands, got a record deal like I thought was a bit of a dream at the time, and ended up doing an album with Martin Rushent, who did stuff for the Human League, the Buzzcocks and people, which was fantastic, but it just faded away. But I'd always had a couple of guitars, and I had an old Fender Stratocaster up in my attic, which I kept, and I just thought one day I wasn't going to pursue music, but the love of guitars. So I thought, yep, I'm going to start collecting them. And I went around to a few shows, contacted a few friends who had guitars, and started buying them. And also, one of my dreams, like in the early 70s, was to have one of these Yamaha SGs, which I never got around to having. So I went out and bought a couple. And now I've got 3.
Well, 4, you've got another one at home, haven't you?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's quickly talk about them. You've brought a 1500, a 2000 and a 3000. These are the 70s guitars.
That's right, yeah.
And these are 80s. But let's do the 70s ones first.
Okay.
So what have we got?
They were basically made in 76, and you had the 1000, the 1500, and then the 2000, and that's the 1977. And bands like your Buzzcocks, the Skids, Big Country, they were all using these at the time, and a great, great guitar. But they seem to have fizzled out sort of in the 80s, and then they became very, very rare.
Yeah. And what about the woods for these? They're what they called there? It was maple, was it?
Well, it had a maple top on it, and it had the mahogany, 3-piece mahogany body, and then to make it even stronger, these had a 3-piece laminated neck which went straight through the body and gave it its strength. And also, under the bridge, they put under this brass plate which gave it extra sustain. Yeah. So overall, you know, these guitars are really, really well made.
And obviously Santana was one of the big players of these when they first came out. And we've got our Brazilian friend Vinnie to show us some Santana tunes. Let's get them plugged in.
Welcome to Britain's Rare Guitars. We've got a very exciting day lineup today. We're at Patrick James Eggle Guitars, and I'd like to introduce Patrick. Patrick, thank you very much for having us today.
Hello, James.
How are you doing?
Nice to meet you. Very well, thank you.
So take us through what you're going to have a look at today.
Okay, we're going to go through our entire workshop. We're going to start off in the wood store area. Then we're going to go and see the production facility where the bodies and necks are machined and assembled. We're going to see how they're sprayed, look at the final assembly and setup, and also we're going to look at where Faith guitars and Shergold guitars are checked over, inspected and set up prior to dispatch. I built my first guitar as a project when I was about 15.
Okay.
I was in a band at the time, you know, a school band.
Yep.
I've been playing guitar since I was about 12. It hadn't occurred to me that I could make my own guitar. And one day it did occur to me, so I did it.
And was that acoustic or electric, that one?
It was a classical guitar.
Oh, right, okay.
And I built it and then wasn't happy with it and pulled it apart and started again.
Right. And how soon was it that did you stay on acoustics for a while, or did you move to electric?
I probably built about 10 acoustic guitars.
Okay.
And then dabbled with electrics.
Right.
And I've been all over the place really since.
Okay.
But now we're building purely electric guitars. This is the body from Macon single cut.
Okay.
It's rough sanded. It's waiting on final sanding.
Right.
This is a really nice 4A flame top.
Yeah, it's gorgeous flame on there.
So it's going to go in sanding next.
Right. And then if we can we get a close up on these inlays?
Yeah, sure. This is our kind of vine inlay, tree of life inlay type thing. Not quite so popular these days. Everybody wants aged and old and everything.
You go more off the dot. Traditional inlays, yeah.
That's right. But this is really, really nice nevertheless. It's gold mother of pearl and black mother of pearl. Okay, this is a spec sheet for one of our guitars.
Okay.
Everything that we build here has a spec sheet. There isn't like a standard model that we just say, oh, it's a 96, so we build it in that way. Everything has a spec sheet, so it gives pickup format, what type of woods we use, radius of the fretboard, the profile of the neck, all that kind of thing.
So no two guitars are identical then?
Exactly. These guitars are halfway through spraying.
Okay.
So here we've got a drop-top T-style guitar.
This quilt's stunning. It's so
thank you.
symmetrical.
Yeah, well, the symmetry comes from the fact that it's book matched.
Yeah.
So yeah, really, really nice kind of tiger eye burst, I guess it is.
We've got matching. Presumably, this is the neck
This
going
is
on
the
this
neck for this guitar. So there you go, colour match headstock and flame maple at the back.
one. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it's
Really
going to be real,
nice. It's
real
going to be a very
stunner.
pretty guitar, that one.
Real stunner, that one. They're sort of halfway through being sprayed, so they've had the first 5 or 6 coats,
Okay.
and they're curing at the moment. And then when the first 5 or 6 coats have cured, then we flatten them back, and they go back into the spray shop and have some more layers, as it were. Okay, that's a drop top 96.
So this is
with-
spalted maple.
Yeah, spalted flame maple, and we haven't done anything with this one. We've just lacquered it.
Right.
There's no colour on it or anything. We just left that natural. Sometimes natural is best. Again, over one-piece swamp ash, very light.
Is this Humbucker P90 looking?
Humbucker P90, that's it. Soap bar P90, and it's got a floating trem. This is a conversation that we have normally every day regarding aesthetics. Sometimes, regardless of what's been ordered, we might change it because it just doesn't work with the aesthetic. So with this guitar, which is going to America, we're kind of umming and ahhing between the covered humbucker in the bridge and the white open coil, and I think we're going to go with the open coil.
Right.
Cars.
So was that the initial spec, or is this like a last-minute alteration?
This one was actually left open for us to actually decide at the end, and it looks like we've made a decision. So.